Hi, this is David with Paint Protection Lake Norman, and Jeff from Speedway Detailing is somewhere behind us. But in this video, we have a deep blue metallic Tesla Model 3, 2018, so it has a little bit of miles on it. But this car is booked in for full paint correction, ceramic coating, and paint protection film. We're going to break this up into a few smaller videos and basically highlight the benefits to having a ceramic and paint protection film, because there is some rock chips, there is a lot of defects in the paint. This car is taken through the car wash several times a week, so we'll just show you the defects caused by car washes. But I'm going to give you a kind of a brief look over the vehicle, show you the defects that are there, and then we're going to start. Jeff's already decommed it, prepped it, ready for polishing. We'll show you the polishing process and the 50/50s of polished paint versus the condition of the paint now. We'll fully correct all the vehicle, and then we'll go into the paint protection film, and we'll show you the type of install we do here at Paint Protection of Lake Norman. So firstly, we're just going to go over the paint defects, show you the condition, and then we'll move forward to the process. Alright, so I just want to show you some of the defects that are already in the paint from the car wash, but also how vulnerable paint is without paint protection film. So we talk about how important paint protection film is and coatings. Just starting off with paint protection film is obviously there's nothing else on the market that is going to stop rock chips and debris that hits the paint during, anywhere you're going. So let's just show a few of the actual rock chips that are already here. A big one right here. There's a lot of road rash, little imperfections in the paint that even with a car that's only a year old, down here, especially on the lower portions, there's quite a lot of road rash on the hood. There's lots of little chips. They're not deep chips, but they take away from the overall appearance of the vehicle. And once they're in there, the only way to repair that really is to repaint the surface, which we want to try and keep the OEM surface as long as possible. So paint protection film is key to stopping these defects happening in the first place. And we'll talk about that a little bit further in depth when we go into the installation. But we obviously need to prep the surface first, because if I bring in the spotlight, you can see, if you look into the light, it's a little tough to capture, but as I move the light around, you can see it's followed by, basically what that is wash-induced marring from the car wash brushing up against it, swirls. There is some deeper scratching, which it's a little bit more tougher to see in this metallic blue, but we'll show you some 50/50s and hopefully capture that.
Hey guys, Jeff here with Speedway Detail. As David explained, we booked this Tesla Model 3 for full paint correction, paint protection film, and ceramic coating. And right now, what I'm doing is machine polishing with a heavy grade compound to knock down the serious defects from the numerous tunnel washes that this Tesla has been through. And then we'll follow it up with another one or two polishing steps to refine the paint to a very, very high gloss. And then the paint protection film will go on, and we'll apply the ceramic coating. So I've just completed compounding the hood, and we're going to move on to some more intricate areas of the car. These panels have a lot of curves and undulations, and it really helps to have the right tool for the job. So I have several polishing tools. Right now we're going to use the 3-inch to get this area of the fender, and we'll move on to some of the other tools.
Just want to show you the difference of polished paint as opposed to what we have already. This color is really difficult to pick up the defects, but there is straight line scratches, swirls, wash marring, a little bit of everything, and we can you can pick up that around the actual light itself when I move the camera around. And if we come over to this little spot right here, it cleans up completely, and that's what perfect paint should look like. And that's better than it looks actually with a brand new car too. So even brand new cars will benefit from paint polishing too. Again, what we currently have, and you can see as we cross over that line to the difference. Good morning, day 2 on the Tesla Model 3. Yesterday all the correction work was done. Now it's time for ready for paint protection film. This particular client requested a full front, which basically means the complete hood, full fenders, front bumper and mirrors. And on this install, a little bit different to most shops, the way they install. Typically, most shops will install a template installation. It's computer cut on a plotter. They lay it on the vehicle and everything's already cut out for sensors. The front bumper's multiple pieces, notches in the hood, a notch around the sensor in the fender, and on the mirrors, it's just the face of the mirror. We do things a little bit different. Our philosophy when it comes to film is we want to always put out our best work. So on this car, for instance, we are going to install a one-piece bumper. That basically means is if you was to look at your Tesla outside, you probably have 2 pieces where it joins at the bottom of the bumper below the fog light. This isn't necessarily a bad way of doing things, but over time that could be a chink in the armor, or the installer might not necessarily butt those 2 edges up completely, and there's always a vulnerable area. So this way we install it in one piece, one continuous piece. It looks better, more protection, and just overall a better quality install. And the type of clients that we serve want that little bit extra. So I'm going to show you as we go around the install, how we install the film, the benefits, and why some people might not like a bulk installation, because it is more expensive, it's more time consuming, and not everybody is necessarily wanting that bulk installation, so they want a template. And we offer template installations, but we always try and put our best foot forward. So I'm going to give you a close-up of this as we're installing the film, but I just wanted to give you a little overview this morning, and we'll get straight into the hood first. The emblem's already been removed. I'm going to put my GoPro on so you can see exactly what I'm seeing, and I'll talk and basically just go over how we're installing the film. The first thing to just notice laying this film on here is if you have a template installation, you'll actually have a little notch that comes maybe an 1/8, however close it is to the edge. You'll have a little notch out in this corner, so you will see exposed paint. When we install the film, we'll actually score the film on the outside of the area, and then when we heat it and seal it down, the entire area will be covered and you won't have a notch out of here. Every single edge on this hood will be wrapped. You may see some shops say that we cut on the paint. The blade will never touch the paint here, and when you've been doing this long enough, you actually score the paint, score the film, sorry, and then you tear the film. You don't actually cut directly onto the paint. So just flatten this out quickly, start trimming up some of this excess. So now we can go ahead, we got all our film laid up, we can go ahead and start locking and installing. And as you can see now, the film is locked over the edge, so when we seal this around, you will not see the edge of the film, and it will be continuous, wrapped all the way across. So like before with the template, you have a little notch there. This way you don't have any notch at all, just looks a little bit cleaner. Now we'll move our way down to the bottom. The top corners are done now. We'll go ahead and flush this back out. Make sure it's floating. And like I mentioned before, this is where the emblem should be. On a lot of template installations, you'll actually have a cutout around the emblem, which on darker color cars, it's not such an issue. But if you had a white car, for instance, it might look good for 6 months, a year. But there will be a dirt line that appears around the edge of the film. It's exposed and it potentially can lift. So this way, it is a little bit more work, but we can remove the emblem, lay the film, emblem goes back over, and you wouldn't even know there's film on here. All right, so now the actual, for the most part, the hood is laid down. What we'll do is we'll go around the outside and trim it about 1/2 inch off the paint, so when we tuck it round, it's all continuous and it looks neat. It looks neat and tidy underneath the hood, also on top. So once we get done with tucking all the edges, sealing everything, you won't see an edge at all, completely invisible. Okay, so I just want to give you a quick close-up of after we've now trimmed the hood. We've got about 1/4 inch of film overhanging, which we'll let to dry, and then you see it runs all the way along, all the way to the corner, which we'll finalise afterwards. But now that film is on there, we'll let it sit for a little bit to dry out all the edges, and then we'll go ahead and tuck all the way across underneath once it's dry, and it'll be completely seamless. Onto the fenders. I've just finished installing this fender. We didn't have to take any hardware off. In the past we used to take off the sensors, but now come up with a way of installing the film without removing these and still being able to tuck the film all the way around. So laid it on, trimmed all the edges, so I'm just going to bring you in for a closer look and see with all the edges completely wrapped, and the differences between a template installation and this type of installation. Let me just bring you in for a closer look. Alright, so first thing is, usually on the template you'd have a cutout around here. Sometimes it's not consistent. You can see the film is on here. So grab the corner, the film's still drying, but there's no hard edge. Everything's tucked in behind the sensor. The film's going to be rolled into the door, all the way down into the fender liner, all the way across, and then as we go up here, the film's going to be tucked into the top here, all the way across. So, and then if you notice on a template installation, if you have a template installation, the film probably comes up short here. With this type, we actually roll it into the headlight, all the way around, and then into there. So once we get Once we let it dry for a little bit, we'll roll all the edges and it will be completely invisible. No distortions in the film, very clean installation, so we'll show you that once we're finished. Alright, we just got installed in the full bumper. As you can see, we just got edges that we cut about 1/4 inch so we can tuck it in. We'll tuck all these edges in around here. Everything's nicely even all the way around. We'll tuck it. Down here it's all one piece all the way through, all the way up, so there's no seam. Usually you'd have a seam right here, but with the one piece insulation, no seams whatsoever, all the way across, all the way to the back, and then all the way to the back here too. So it's a lot more work. It's a lot more work, but if you're looking for that little bit more than just a template, this is the answer. So we're going to go ahead and seal all the edges and just finish off the install. Jeff's going to start on the ceramic coating, and like every coating, the prep work is definitely key to a longevity of the coating. So after all the polishing work's complete, Jeff goes around with a surface prep to make sure there's no oils that are on the paint which can create two reasons. They can fill defects, which can hide them for a short period of time, and then the secondly is it makes the ceramic coating bond better, make sure it's doing and lasting exactly how long it should do.
So the last step is applying the OptiCoat Pro Plus ceramic paint coating, and the reason we're coating the car, the reason why anyone should coat their car, is to prevent chemical etching from bugs and bird droppings, UV protection. It's a permanent solution instead of wax or a sealant, and makes your car super easy to clean going forward. So. Alright, so we've completed the Tesla Model 3 project. The car has been completely polished. Paint protection film has been applied to the entire front end of the car, and it's been finished with OptiCoat ceramic paint coating. Just want to thank my client for his business. Thank you, David, with Paint Protection of Lake Norman, for your hard work. The car looks excellent. And for more information, please go to our website, speedwaydetail.com.